The World Cup starts today. Billions will watch. Billions will feel something real. But while you're watching, someone else is paying. Let's go through the facts. FIFA expects $8.9 billion in revenue from this tournament alone. FIFA's reserves have climbed from $1.5 billion after 2014 to $2.74 billion after 2018 to $3.97 billion after 2022 and are projected to break $4 billion in 2026. None of these reserves have gone toward building stadiums or World Cup infrastructure. That burden falls entirely on host countries. Read that again. FIFA profits, hosts pay. Brazil spent $15 billion in 2014. Tourists brought back $3 billion. Russia spent $11 billion in 2018. Tourists spent $1.5 billion. Qatar spent an estimated $220 billion, the most expensive event in human history, and generated $2 to $4 billion back. The math has never worked. Not once. Not anywhere. Before every World Cup, governments tell their people the same story. Tourism will explode, jobs will be created, infrastructure will be built, the economy will boom. The evidence says otherwise. In both Beijing and London, tourist visits actually decreased during their major event years. Brazil saw airline traffic drop 11 to 15% during the World Cup compared to the same month the year before. Much of the spending is simply redirected rather than new. Domestic consumers shift their patterns, regular tourists stay away due to congestion, and the net gain is close to zero. The 1994 World Cup in the US, the model everyone points to as a successful hosting, concluded that American host cities experienced up to $9.3 billion in cumulative losses against an expected $4 billion gain. 2026 might actually be different, not because the economics changed, but because the US is using existing NFL and MLS stadiums across all 11 host cities. No billion-dollar construction, no white elephants. Research shows winning the World Cup produces a modest GDP boost. Hosting it historically does not, but the US is big enough, rich enough, and infrastructurally prepared enough that the damage is probably minimal. For the US, 2026 might be worth it. The World Cup is one of the most beautiful things humans have created. The football, the emotion, the sense that the whole world is watching the same thing, that's real. But the institution behind it has built a machine that extracts maximum value from host nations while bearing zero of the risk. Governments volunteer their people's money for a month of glory and decades of debt. Worth it? For FIFA, always. For the people actually living in host cities, almost never. The game is beautiful. The system is rotten. You can love one and still say the truth about the other.